I want to tell everyone before we start today about a special skill that Brett Cushing has. He has the most crisp snap that you've ever heard.
I do.
Oh my gosh. I'm watching
It's kind of, we got our own little metronome here.
It does sound like a metronome.
It's impressive. It's the only thing I can contribute musically is my snap, and I can whistle fairly well too.
Wow. Do you want to whistle right now? Or?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes.
I'm talking bird calls. I'm talking, can you, any other?
No, that's about it.
Oh.
Right there. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite thing to whistle? Can you whistle a song?
I probably not on the
You don't want to do it
right
now?
I'm just
okay.
really
Too much.
super
Too far.
nervous. Boy. Yeah.
Okay, well, I put you on the spot, but please prepare, if you would, a piece for next time.
Okay.
A whistle.
Oh, I thought of one. No, I was just kidding. I just wanted to snap one more time.
Again.
Yeah.
Well, it was impressive. Well, today we are talking about interpersonal effectiveness in addition to making percussive sounds with your hands.
Yes. It doesn't really relate to being interpersonally effective. In fact, it can be interpersonally annoying.
Actually,
just continually do.
I'm actually a little annoyed that you're still doing that.
Are you? Yeah, like, hey, we need to keep going. Kids, we got to get in the car. Like, now, let's go.
I've created a monster.
Okay, I'll snap out of it. Here we go. Okay. Back to interpersonal effectiveness.
Okay, here we go. We're back at it. So, this is one of the sections of dialectical behavior therapy skills. Mm-hmm. It's a whole unit.
Yes.
So why is it so important?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and I think we do know that's such a good and rhetorical question because we know relationships are so fickle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they are.
Communication is so incredibly delicate.
Right.
And so we are having such difficulty in relationships on a chronic level.
Right.
It started, I think, when humanity began, and it's
so not that long ago.
I don't think it's gotten much better. You know.
Okay. Well,
maybe it has, but there's no way to, I think, study that for sure, because all we have to do is look at the world.
Yeah.
And look at our relationships and look at work environments and look at family of origin struggles and sexual relationships are such an area where we struggle. And that's interpersonal effectiveness too, and that's communication. So, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Right. So this is highly relevant. And when this is going to be coming out, we're going to be approaching Valentine's Day, which really highlights relationships.
Yes. Good.
So
just in time.
Yeah, we're getting it in here. So what we want to really highlight with interpersonal effectiveness is really three things.
Okay.
We want to, as we're going to be delving into this for quite some time now, it sounds like I'm going to be overselling this, okay? Which
please do.
I can be prone to do. I get excited, but I don't think I'm not overselling. If you continually tune in and have somebody you're in a relationship with to tune in, you will learn how to get what you want in a relationship, how to end what you don't want in a relationship, and how to accept and change things in a relationship.
Whoa.
I know.
This is like it seems like what everyone wants.
Yes.
Right?
It really is.
And I'm not exaggerating.
No, this is good stuff.
Right.
This is a game changer.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about this specifically today. We're going to be learning a skill which is really difficult. This is one I've had to work on a lot, still have to work on in my life a lot.
Ooh, so I've had my confessional episodes. Is this going to be yours? Where now it's going to be Brett's on the confession stand.
Really had to work on this one. And we like being using self-disclosure.
Absolutely.
Because we want to make therapy approachable.
Yes.
Like this is not something to have shame about. Nope. This is very normal.
Very normal.
So before I introduce that, there are three skills we're going to be highlighting over the next few episodes. One is today we're going to be talking about the FAST skill.
Okay, which is an acronym.
Yes, we are acronym palooza here. DVT is all about acronyms, and they don't always make sense, but we're going to stick with it.
Okay.
So one is FAST, and that is how do I maintain my sense of self-respect in a relationship.
Okay.
Another one we'll talk about is the give skill. How do I maintain the relationship itself?
Okay.
And then the third one is going to be what's called a dear man. How do I get what I want in a relationship?
Oh.
Now, the cool thing about this is many times people view these three things my self-respect, the relationship, and getting what I want as three separate things. We want to talk about it as three things that can coexist at the same time. You can actually preserve a relationship, preserve your self-respect, and get what you want all at the same time. Now, I know it does sound like an infomercial, but wait, there's more.
There's more.
If you tune in today with a friend, we will discount your next episode by 100%.
What about shipping and handling?
I'm going to say this, the shipping and handling is going to be up to the listener.
Okay.
And it will have some cost to them.
Right.
It does take some work.
So you just said three things can coexist at the same time. Does that mean it's a trialectic?
Wow. I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
That one was the freebie.
Trialectic, yeah.
Because a dialectic is two things.
Two things that can all balance. Yeah, I never thought of that. Leave it to you to come up with
You're welcome.
a new term. Trialectic here.
So the three things again, just so I'm like really clear. The three things are when I'm approaching a situation for interpersonal effectiveness, I'm either my main priority can be one of three things.
Yes. Well, it can be all three things.
It can be all three things. Okay.
Yes.
It just depends on how I want to approach it.
Yeah, sometimes, the context will drive what needs to maybe have more of the priority in the moment.
Okay. So it's not just personal preference. It could be like, well, this is my job, so I really need to focus on this thing over here.
Right. So I might want to maintain the relationship, but sometimes we maintain a relationship with somebody at the expense of ourselves.
Yes. Okay. So it's self-respect. So I want to maintain my self-respect. I want to maintain the relationship itself. And I want to get the thing that I actually want.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
I love it.
Because a lot of times I like to start with self-respect because that's the one thing we struggle with the most, I think, in relationships. That's the one we sacrifice and get rid of and ignore for the sake of something else.
Okay.
Or someone else.
And then we might, what happens if we do that? Then we get resentful or?
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think we get resentful?
Well, we might, if we're always, so from what I've learned, personal experience, if I'm always sacrificing my self-respect, I'm going to start to be unhappy about, it's going to feel unbalanced, the relationship. It's like, well, I always give in, right?
Right.
Why do I always have to give in?
Yes.
And then I might start to be like, well, I got to find a way out of this relationship.
Yes.
Where what could be tweaked is maybe I could be approaching it where my self-respect is maintained.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of times, like, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, all right, this is me, all right, talking, all right, so.
If you don't have that many relationships, right?
I tend to approach, or I've tended in the past especially to approach, other people are more important than I am. And so I would deny myself and default towards somebody else. And I didn't realize that as I would do that, though, I still had expectations that I weren't even aware of.
Okay.
So I would deny what I feel and think I want or need, default to you. But then when I really did need something or want something, I expected you to know what I want or needed.
Okay.
And so I have this supernatural ability to know what other people think and feel.
Okay.
I just know it because I don't know, it's just something that developed in me.
Perceptive.
Right. And then I expect everybody else to know what I'm feeling in the same way because it comes so easily for me.
Yep.
I expect, like, of course, well, like, it's easy for everybody. And then, so if somebody doesn't understand what I'm thinking and they don't pick up on it, I can get resentful.
Yeah, me too.
But I'll tell them, I'll have real clear ways to tell somebody I'm upset.
Okay.
Like if I'm upset with you, Christa, and you come in late, I'll let you know. I'll just go, okay. I mean, clear as a bell, right? Like, Christa.
I thought you were gonna like have some like perfectly constructed I statement.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, you're like, that is my I statement.
That's
my sigh statement.
My sigh statement was my I statement. I love that. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then if you didn't pick up on that, I'd be like, can't believe how insensitive she is. Does she not care?
Doesn't she realize I'm upset?
Right.
I just sighed. That should tell her. Clear as a bell.
Right. Yeah. And I'd say, I've told you, like, I'm not happy with this. And you'd be like, when did you tell me? And I'd say,
every time.
Every time. When? When I sighed, I went,
you should know, but when you come in, the look on my face alone.
Yeah. I could snap.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, don't do that.
So that's what I would do. And because in one sense I had needs, but I also felt my needs weren't that important.
Right.
And so I would deny them, defer to you, but then I have this hidden expectation that you would know what I felt, you would know what I need, you would respond. And then when you didn't meet my unrealistic expectations that I thought were legitimate, then resentment and bitterness can build up.
Right.
And it's so damaging. And I really regret that. And still learning. So I was doing the best I could.
Yep.
And I'm still learning and trying to do better.
Okay.
So that's where I think the fast skill comes in, is for many of us, we are so used to denying ourselves, and I call it over-functioning. I don't function anymore where I'm responsible, like with my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, my desires, my opinions, needs. Those are mine that I'm responsible for. But I deny all of that. And the only thing that's really front and center is your thoughts and your feelings and your needs.
Right.
And so I live to manage that and fix that for you rather than feel it with you. Okay. And then I'm going to make your life better.
Right.
And yet I'm completely ignoring myself. And so then, that's over functioning. And that's a whole nother topic. But what happens is I get resentful.
Right.
And so we need to learn the fast skill, because what happens though too is when everything, let's say about you, is front and center and paramount for me, what's not any longer apparent to me is myself.
Yes.
And so what happens is I lose myself, and you're not in a relationship with me anymore because there is no me.
Right.
Yes.
So then what?
You're in a relationship with yourself in a way.
In a way, yeah.
That's
exactly
what I make it about, is it's all about you.
Right.
It's
and
like,
the other person might not even really be aware of that, right?
Yeah, the other person doesn't know that they're doing anything wrong.
They're just going about their business.
Right.
Right.
And so I become so fixated on maintaining the relationship, but I've lost my sense of self, and now the other person isn't in a relationship with me.
Yep.
Because there is no me.
There's no you.
Yeah, it gets erased.
So now we want you in the relationship.
Yes.
Fast.
Let's do this fast.
Yeah.
And
no, we don't actually have to do it fast, but.
And we can.
We can.
Yes.
And we can.
And. So.
Okay. So FAST stands for.
Well, the F is to be fair to yourself.
Okay.
That sounds nice, but it's a foreign concept.
Right.
That's what the F also stands for. Foreign concept. Being fair to ourselves. Because many times we grow up thinking, I don't deserve it.
Right.
So fair to yourself and fair to the other person. It's a dialectic. It's both. I want to be fair to me. I want to be fair to you. And again, why is that hard? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what I want.
Right.
I don't know what I think. And that's where mindfulness tends to come in.
Okay.
I need to become aware. What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? What do I want?
Yeah.
You know, my wife might say to me, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Because I'm
guilty of that one.
I don't know. I don't know.
That can be a true statement.
Yes.
Sometimes people are like, don't just say you don't know, right? It's like, well, what if I don't?
And that's where I think a lot of people trying to do the fast skill, that's where they start. Well, what if I don't? What if I don't know me anymore?
Exactly.
What is it to be me?
Right.
What is it for me to have an opinion?
Okay.
What is it for me to say what I want?
Yeah.
And say how I feel? Totally foreign concept. Not that we're trying to, like you're saying, I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, of course.
And yet it can be difficult.
Yeah.
So being truly fair to oneself and fair to the other. Okay, so what I find is that when people tend to go from being very passive to trying to be more assertive is they overcompensate.
They might overdo it?
Yeah, and then they go to aggressive. So we still want to be fair to the other person. So that means we want to validate our own feelings. Okay. We want to validate our feelings. And that can be a form of protecting ourselves.
Okay, sure.
Super important.
Sure.
Also, it's a provision really to know who you can trust and let in and have input into your thoughts. And so I need to know what my thoughts, my opinions are, because then I can build a boundary around that.
Okay.
Because people always want to come in and tell you and I what we should think, what we should feel, how we should respond. And so if I don't know what those are, there's no boundaries around them. And then people are always dictating that to me.
Yep.
And I don't
It's confusing
know
real fast.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So I gotta know what it is and then have boundaries around it. That's part of being fair to myself. Now, what I tell people when they start doing the fast skill, you'll know you're doing it right when you've never done it before because it feels like you're being selfish.
Yes. Yes. I actually, one of my clients, we talk about that where she'll say, I felt selfish. And I will be like, good. because she'll practice these things. And I guess I'm not even, specifically talking about the fast skill, but yes, absolutely. It's like, it's foreign, right? So it's going to feel like, oh, I'm being so selfish.
Yes.
Yep.
And how tragic, because it's not selfish, it's self-care.
There you go.
And how tragic it is when we actually start to practice self-care and we think it's being selfish.
Right.
Yeah. So we're not just trying to think positively. This is accurate.
Exactly.
This is not selfish behavior. This is self-care. Now, what is cool about this, Christa, is when we can do that and kind of have this boundary for ourselves, now I can actually have some empowerment over myself in my life. Mm-hmm. I'd always defer it to other people, but now when I know what I think and want and feel and desire, I can put a boundary around that and I can determine who do I let in and who do I not let in. Who's safe and who's not safe. And how do I know that? I'll know it by those who respect my boundaries. Especially the safest people are going to be the people who respect my boundaries, even when they don't understand them.
Yes.
Even when they disagree with them. And they don't like them, and they still respect it. Those are the safest people.
That's a great point.
And a lot of times we don't know.
Nope.
But that's how we can know.
Okay.
And so that's all being fair to yourself, and that requires mindfulness over time.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the F of fast.
Yes.
Okay, the A.
The A stands for no apologies. Maybe absent of apologies.
There you go. There you go.
Better, yeah.
Or absolutely no apologies. There's a sign at the airport. Have you seen this when you go and drop someone off?
Yeah.
It says absolutely in big letters, no parking. And I always laugh because I'm like, I feel like they're emphasizing maybe the wrong thing on this sign, but that could be the A is absolutely no apologies.
And that's hard for us. That don't practice this because we are expert apologizers.
Oof. Yeah, I apologize a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I'm confessing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for that.
I know. And you should be. Yeah. It is so hard. We do say apologies. And when I used to teach a class for college students, and I would have them do an assignment, I say, when somebody tells you, they ask you to do something you don't want to do it, just say, yeah, no. And don't say anything else.
Right. And no is a complete sentence.
No is a complete sentence. And I would say when you give a reason for your no, you give somebody power to determine if your reason is reasonable.
Right. And they can argue.
Right. And they do. Yeah. So just say no.
No.
But it's like, don't apologize either for having your no.
Yep.
And it was so hard for the students. Oh my goodness, was it hard? They're like, it is so mean to do that.
See?
No, notice how tragic.
We're back to it feels selfish.
Yes.
It feels mean to just say no, right?
Yes. No. No. And I said, okay, if you want to, instead of getting, if you get an A, if you just say no and nothing else. If you say no and you have to say something, you'll get a B. If you say, no, thanks for asking.
Oh, okay. All right.
Get a B.
All right.
Right.
Can deal with that.
Yeah.
But what about a C?
I can't even remember.
What's it? You fail if
some people failed when they gave in, and they still did.
Oh,
yeah.
They didn't even say.
I had one student that did that, and she was so cool. She was like, "Yeah, I gave in, and I went dancing when I didn't want to."
Oh, right. Well, that's honest. Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah," and she said, "I was so upset with my friend." And I said, "Right." And I just paused, and she looked, and she said, I should have been upset with myself.
I agreed to it, right?
Yeah, and I said, good, you just moved from F to an A.
Okay. Oof.
Yeah.
She passed in the end.
She passed. I was a tough grader. So,
yeah. Yeah.
When we apologize, though, for things we don't need to apologize, that's a form of self-invalidation. And self-invalidation is the leading contributor to our behaviors that we regret so much.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It starts with self-validation.
It does.
Oh.
It does.
So if I do a behavior that I'm like, why did I do that? It
Yes.
might stem back to self-invalidation.
Right.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Right. So I tell people, don't apologize. And I've had to work on this too and say, hey, thanks for understanding. Because when I apologize to you for being late,
Right.
okay, if I'm late, I apologize to you, and it's a double negative. I assume you're the kind of person that would not understand, and I assume I'm the kind of person that cannot make a mistake.
Sure.
So we exchange no apologies then means like saying, hey, thanks for understanding. Because I assume positive about you. You're the kind of person that's going to understand.
Sure.
I'm the kind of person that can make mistakes.
Okay. I like it.
So no apologies. This is really hard.
Well, I was just thinking, like, what if I oversleep? And is that I'm
Yes.
kind of kidding, but
Yeah.
like kind of not.
Right.
Because there was a time where I couldn't make the recording and I had to cancel. And I'm pretty sure I said I was sorry. But yeah, I guess maybe just be mindful of over apologizing is the point here.
Right. Yeah. And
It's not that you can never say I'm sorry, but
right.
right?
Yeah. And I would say for those of us that are prone to it, for a period of time, practice no apologies.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
Super hard.
This is gonna challenge me, I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. It's challenging for me. I still have to work on it.
Okay. All right.
So no apologies.
Okay. How about S? Stick to your own values.
Yeah. Stick to your values.
Okay. Don't sell out your values or integrity for reasons that aren't very important.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Can you say that again?
I really like that. and here's why. Because in the moment, it's so easy.
Yep.
I think of an example such as sugar. I will take a break from sugar from time to time.
Yeah.
Because I think it makes my emotional sensitivity higher. Sugar.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
I never
So
thought
this is something I've observed. So anyway,
Okay.
but then when I'm in a situation and someone's like, oh, I brought this dessert. Like, why aren't you having any? It's so easy to sell out my value. That day, that week or whatever, my value is I'm taking care of myself by not having sugar. And there's been many times where I've just been like, well, oh well. It's more important to, please this person.
That's such a great example.
Right?
I think it's great because I can relate to it.
Yes.
Yes. And I've related to it with food.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Big time.
Well, everybody's going out to eat,
Yep.
and so I'll go off my diet for them.
Right.
And otherwise, I feel like I have to apologize again too.
And now, but because it's saying values are integrity.
Yes.
So it's like, this is, for right now, this is what I'm valuing. This is my integrity, and this is what I've chosen for myself.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if I don't stick to my values, then I'm going to simply adopt somebody else's values.
Exactly.
Their thoughts, their
Right.
feelings, their
Right.
behaviors.
Right.
And I'm going to adopt that too as what I should be. I should be like them. So this is crucial to not losing our sense of self with somebody else.
I love this. This is great.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
At least it was for me, and I'm still always working on it.
Well, and then one more thing about this is that doesn't mean you have to explain yourself, right? Like this stick to your values is more for me, right? Versus, because I can see how some people might be like, well, do I have to explain how this is my value and my integrity and my blah, blah,
Yes.
It's like, no, that's not necessarily what it's saying.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and notice sometimes people expect that,
Yep.
and you don't owe it to them.
Right.
And sometimes people don't care, and so
Right.
you don't have to make it about yourself.
True.
It doesn't. I don't have to grandstand and say, well, I'm not going to eat because I'm doing my, New Year's resolution.
Answer. Yeah, right.
And you go on, and people are like, okay, fine.
Sure. Well, and to your point from earlier, that gives them an opening to be like, well, what's one piece of pizza, right?
It's a wide opening. Yes.
Yep. Okay, so let's do T.
Yes. T. Last one, be truthful.
Be truthful. Don't lie. Don't act helpless when you're not. Don't exaggerate or make up excuses.
Yeah. So how
This is a
are
tricky
we?
one too.
This is. How are we untruthful when we don't practice self-respect? Well, we're untruthful because we're not being ourselves to
Right.
other people. I'm not being truthful about what I really think and what I really need and what I really want. And if I try to, I might minimize it. Mm-hmm. Well, does it really bother you when I do this around the house? Well, yeah, but it's not a big deal. If you could help with that, that'd be nice.
Sure.
Thanks. Sorry for asking, So we water it down and we're trying to be truthful, but we're not. Mm-hmm. We could say, yeah, you know what? It ticks me off to no end when you do this.
Like, I
my
do
God.
not like that.
Yeah, I'm so mean now.
You meanie.
Yeah, because I'm being honest about how I really feel about something.
Right.
I'm being mean and selfish.
I was just thinking earlier when you were snapping, I'm going to be truthful. I don't like when you snap so many times in a row.
And I really don't care.
Even though I'm the one that brought it up and bragged about your snapping skills.
Yes.
I had to be truthful.
Oh, I have an urge. I have such a strong urge
To do it right now.
and I want you to know.
You can do one.
No,
No?
I'm not going to.
One is...
All right, well, because I wanted to be true to myself, right? And it's okay if you don't like me.
But now you know where I stand.
I do know where you stand.
Yes, and I have enough self-respect to tell you. Well, okay, so...
And that was truthful.
Yes,
you were being truthful.
I was being truthful.
Yes.
So, okay, fast. Be fair.
Yes.
No apologies. Stick to your values and be truthful. I
Yes.
love this.
Yeah, we need to be accurate and honest if we're going to have intimate relationships with people. Mm-hmm. And that's to love and also be loved and allow somebody to love us. We have to be truthful about who we really are so that they have a real person, the real you that they're loving.
That's right. Okay. So, I think this was good.
I think it was, and we'll kind of review this and we'll get into some more interpersonal effectiveness skills next time.
I can't wait.
Thank you as always for listening, and please be sure to leave us a review. While this podcast can't be a replacement for therapy, we hope you enjoyed our discussion today and join us again next time. Nystrom & Associates is always available to those who are struggling. If you find yourself in need of support and help, please check us out at nystromcounseling.com.